Hello everybody, it's Brian with you from the GameCom, and we are playing some more Planet Coaster. So, change of plans from the last episode. I mentioned that I wasn't going to do time lapses with the scenario series, but the more I was playing around with it, I just think it's going to be too slow, and I just don't think it's going to be as entertaining. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of show you around what I ended up working on in between episodes, and then we're going to switch over to a time lapse and just kind of start accomplishing things, and I'll provide post commentary on what I did. So anyways, this is what we ended up knocking out after the last episode. You'll see I added quite a few more bushes. I added quite a few more trees. I found these short little palms right here. Not there. I can't select it. Yeah, right there. These short palms that I started adding, which really kind of took it over the top. I also added in a bunch of... I got a hair in my mouth. That's weird. I added in a bunch of rocks as well, just to kind of really fill in the area a little bit, and I think it came out pretty dang good. I ended up having to, like, replace this whole thing down. I had to end up making it higher for some reason because it, like, bugged out or something like that. So we put a bunch of rocks around it and some vines, some of these bushes and stuff like that, and now the water actually kind of goes all the way around it, which is pretty freaking cool. I like it. I also love this hill that's just kind of, like, right in between here. We added some... Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't do that. We could do that real quick. I did do it, but then I forgot to save or ended up switching over. So we want to come here really quickly, go to scenery. I want to come to lights, and I want to take some of these bamboo torches, and we're just going to start plopping down a couple of these bamboo torches just down the pathway. We just want to make sure that we're on the ground as much as possible. Whoopsie. Like, unlike that. I also, at one point, had lighting... Get you like right there. I had lighting like all on these outsides, but you'll notice I don't have any of like the spotlights. I guess they're just not unlocked because I hadn't researched them or something. So it didn't look all that good during the daytime. It looked really cool at night, but during the daytime it just didn't look good. So I think we're just gonna not do that. We're just gonna leave it as is, since mostly we're gonna be playing during the daytime anyways. I don't know how much the lights actually add at night, like to your overall park, you know, prettiness or something, but we'll keep it going like here, and then let's go ahead and add a couple bamboo lights here. I think that's pretty good. You'll notice we ended up putting a building here. We had this big open area, and putting a bunch of bushes here just didn't seem right, so I decided just to kind of throw down like this pirate pub or something like that. And that's just kind of chilling right there. We have the parrot statues right here for the queue, which looks really, really cool. And the whole queue itself is just kind of raised. You'll see it's just a little bit off the ground, and it looks really awesome. I really like how this area came out. I think we're going to probably expand the jungle a little bit more, like maybe a little more on the height, but I apologize if you hear that in the background. They're like blowing leaves out of my condo's parking lot right now, which, I mean, it needs it, but still. But anyways, I think we're going to expand the jungle just a little bit more and kind of maybe make the jungle like this whole area so it's not just like, boom, shooting up in the air. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and actually like stop testing, and let's actually go ahead and ride this ride. And you guys can actually see how it works. Unfortunately, I think it's going to start playing Flight of the Valkyries here, so yeah, hopefully I'll just talk loud enough so you guys don't actually, it doesn't get like triggered by YouTube. I actually don't know who owns the rights of Flight of the Valkyrie. I'm sure someone does. Maybe it's the people who made Apocalypse Now. You know, is it the movie? Was it made for the movie? I actually don't know enough about that song to actually know where it came from. But I love how you just kind of like fly through the trees. It's just really cool. And this ride may make some people a little dizzy, so you may want to close your eyes for half a second. But I love how you see the roller coaster over there, and then you just kind of fly through here, and then it's like, oh no, rocks, and it's just, I love it. I think it came out really, really well. I'm excited for this one. So yeah, that's probably enough spinning for that. It doesn't bug me so much. Let's go ahead and open it. My wife was watching, and she's like, yeah, I'm getting dizzy now. And I'm like, sorry. So I think that's, oh, hey, here we go. So end of the month summary, we made about 5,000. Our park rating went up plus 45. Cool. So I think we're going to hand it over to Post Brian, as we're going to go ahead and edit some stuff in what's with my camera now all of a sudden. But we're going to do some time-lapse stuff. So anyways, I'll see you guys in half a second. Hey guys, it's Post Brian, and we're doing some time-lapse stuff. But anyways, yeah, so I decided to spend most of this episode, well, you see we just hit the bronze star, but I decided to spend most of this episode doing some time-lapse stuff, just because I wanted to work on some decorations and stuff like that, and it's just really difficult to actually do that stuff live, mostly because it's just like, you click this, that doesn't look good, so you click something else, that doesn't look good, and you just spend a lot of time, almost wasting time, just trying to make things work. And I mean, you'll see, like, I mean, right here, this is sped up 500%, and this is taking me, you know, what, sped up 500%, that took me, like, 20 seconds to actually get the wood over the entryway, and at this point, I'm not entirely sure what I was trying to do. Eventually, we end up making this into, like, a whole, I guess, like, back room almost kind of thing built into the cliff, and it looks really cool. I'm actually really excited how this came out. I actually forgot I did this in the episode because it's buried underground. I'm gonna have to be honest, after this episode, I'm a couple episodes ahead in my recording, so the next episode is not time-lapsed at all. The next episode's gonna be done a fully live commentary, mostly because we finished this scenario in the next episode, spoiler alert, I guess, but really, we found ourselves at the end of this episode being pretty dang close to actually beating the scenario, so I decided to do it live, and we're just kind of wasting time just trying to get the scenario to end, and we do, and then we end up starting the next scenario, the monolith one, and I think that one at least, my plan is the next episode I'm going to record is probably going to be live as well, so we're going to be going back and forth, I think. I got a little lazy after this episode. Like, you see, I'm spending a lot of time just making these decorations and everything look good. By the end, I just got lazy and just started throwing things down, just because I was trying to make just a little bit of extra money, because the last objective is you have to make 10,000 a month, and I was at like 9,500, so I just started dropping shops down and stuff like that, and at that point, I thought the construction cost actually countered it, but it didn't. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent. Here we were looking at doing a roof there, but it didn't really work out. I actually really liked how that came out. We ended up getting a couple new discoveries for our for research, and at some point I ended up stopping research. Actually, I think we researched everything that's available. There's a lot of stuff that's not available. Oh gosh, pass system. There's one thing I'm not really enjoying about this game. The pass system just seems to be so frustrating. It just doesn't quite work the way you think it would. And it wasn't bad in alpha, and I don't know. It seems like the snapping stuff, it just made it worse for whatever reason. I don't know why. Here we're just trying to add a little bit of decorations, and once again, I didn't want to spend like 3 hours putting things down. So I was trying to get the Kraken to pop up, but I didn't want him like popping through, like right there, he's popping through the Q line. I didn't want that. I also didn't want him clipping with the rocks. So it took a little bit of time, and it was kind of hard to do because it's way underground just to get it just right. And I think eventually, yeah, I do get it there, and then we start putting some tentacles on this side. But the tentacle, that first one is a little too tall at first, and so I had to lower it, and then we add a couple tentacles, and we're just trying to get our Q rating up just a little bit. And then from this point, I decide it's time to build a coaster. I'm trying to think if, yeah, there we go. We just got our first coaster, so, finally built the coaster. It's not my best. At the end of the episode, we'll actually, we'll take a trip on it. Yeah, here I'm just throwing down the merry-go-round because it's like I want to make a little bit of extra money, but I didn't really care about making it pretty or doing any decorations for it, because especially for this scenario, that wasn't really necessary. We ended up getting our silver star when we plopped down that merry-go-round, so yay us. And here I'm just kind of flying over the park, trying to determine where I want my roller coaster to go. And so we're going to put the start here, and then the first thing we do is we actually go backwards with it, and we throw a couple block breaks. And what the block breaks allow you to do is to actually add additional cars to the actual roller coaster. If I have one criticism on this roller coaster, and actually watching it now and having done it, I really should have done a bigger hill, and I think we actually go back and change it here in a little bit and make it a little taller, but man, our hill just wasn't that tall, so I guess spoiler alert again, we end up putting like 3 lift hills into this roller coaster, which is kind of ridiculous. Overall, it came out okay. The excitement was in the 6s, I think. The fear is the second one. That was like 4, and the nausea was like 2. So overall, I mean, I'll take that any day of the week. It's a pretty decent size roller coaster, like lengthwise. The one thing I don't like is the cars are really, really short, but it's okay because I end up having 4 cars, so it kind of works out. And here I'm just kind of playing around. I'm trying to get a loop going, but I just, even with this extra height, just didn't get enough speed for it. You'll see here. And man, we have to come back and we smooth the crap out of this thing. Like, I come through and I click on everything and I hit smooth, 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 smooth. And I wonder, there's got to be a better way to actually smooth it. If any of you guys know the easiest way, like, is there a smooth all button? I mean, I know there's like two options. There's smooth banking and then smooth all, but I don't think the smooth all works. I think the smooth all still only works on the part of the track you're clicking on. But here, we wanted to go through the river, and looking back at it, what I should have done is I should have done it. I should have gotten into the river a lot earlier, instead of right there where the roller coaster comes out. And then we ended up having to put another lift here, just because I knew we wouldn't have enough speed to go up above that path, probably. And really, kind of where I want to go is I want to go over there where that's not a windmill, but where the giant tower is. I kind of wanted to fly over there. And I knew that wasn't going to really happen unless we got another lift going. So I'm like, why not? Why not have 2 lifts? And then we end up with 3, yeah. But here, not the best path making, like watching that, like it's so jerky the first time we actually ride it. And I smooth it, and there's still a little bit of jerk, but for the most part, it's not too terrible. Like I said, it's not my best coaster. I'm not like gonna upload this and put this, you know, as like, this is the greatest thing I ever worked on, you know. It's definitely not that at all. Here I'm going higher, and then at some point I'm like, oh yeah, I'm looking at like all the different loops I could do and stuff like this, and then I come over here and I just complete it, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work, is it? But I tested it anyways just to watch it. What's cool about this game, and I didn't actually do it, is if you don't complete the track and you actually test it, see, we didn't even get over that hill, and you test it, the roller coaster rides will actually crash, which is pretty freaking cool. Trying to think, a couple issues I had is I didn't really do like super quick drops. I was doing more subtle drops into super quick drops into subtle, and so you just don't pick up that much speed, and that's kind of why I ended up having to have like 3 train lifts on here. Yeah, this one I was just like, screw it, we're going a lot taller. I love that autocomplete button. That's probably the greatest button ever made. But see, now we have enough speed to go over there. We go over here, and not quite. And I'm like, dang it. We're not going to be able to do this, are we? So I was like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Let's actually put another train lift here, and then let's actually do a loop or something like that. Because if we're going to go up, you know, we might as well have another inversion at some point. I know I could probably you could make corkscrews, I suppose, if you just do the banking. But still, it's not quite the same. And yeah, we weren't nearly high enough on this, and I'm like, ugh. So we go back further, and we have a little bit of issues. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot more issues building this coaster than I'd like to admit. One of those things, like, if you start building it too long, it's like in the back of my brain, I'm going like, Brian, you're spending too much time on this, you know, it's interesting actually building things on camera, because there's like this pressure. And maybe it's just with the roller coaster, I don't know. We end up like, I don't know, in the future, especially when we do our sandbox park, may end up just like cutting ahead. I don't know if we're going to build everything, because I'm still learning the game a little bit. You know, it's not like I've had access to the alpha since day one. So because of that, we may, I don't know, just not record some of it, because I may want to spend like 2-3 hours tweaking something and just figuring out whether or not it works. I'm trying to remember, do I ride the roller coaster right now? Oh, we ended up giving it the name. What did we call it? We called it the Scenic Seas. I wanted to call it the Scenic because it kind of goes through the whole park and kind of shows you the whole park. So I was like, yeah, Scenic works. But I for whatever reason, I'm on this alliteration thing today. So I was like, I guess we'll call it the Scenic Seas. Eventually, I think it's in the next episode, we end up adjusting this entrance a little bit. I don't ever build a building here. I had a lot of issues in the next episode because I thought building costs actually came out of your monthly profits, but I was misreading the financial statement, and I couldn't for the life of me understand like why it would do that, because that doesn't make sense. If I have $40,000 in the bank, you know, and I spend $3,000 on construction, that shouldn't ruin my monthly profit, but I was just misreading it. So FYI, next episode, I do figure that out eventually, but I didn't go ahead. I guess my point in saying that is I didn't really spend much time doing too much construction in the beginning, because I was trying to actually save my money as much as I could, because I was trying to hit that monthly profit of, I think it's 10,000 to actually get the gold star. The next scenario is actually pretty interesting. I started in the next episode, and the monolith one, it's hard because you basically are starting by losing money. and I'm still not entirely sure how I'm gonna actually go ahead and fix that, because, you know, it's like I want to research so I can get more rides, but then I'm finding myself in debt, and it's interesting. It's a really cool what am I trying to say? It's a cool scenario. I like it. It's a lot more entertaining, I think, than this one. This one, basically, all you have to do is plop a couple rides down. And I probably could have finished this in one episode if I just built some custom-built stuff, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You see here, I'm just, like, banking the crap out of everything, or smoothing the crap out of everything. Just spamming it. And I don't know if there's a better way to do it. I end up deleting that section, yeah, and just hit autocomplete instead of having all those extra curves. And I do the same thing kind of here. And, like, for the most part, it works. I move it out. I think I might even bank it a little bit. Yeah, I even bank it a little bit just to make it a little smoother. I'm starting, I have to say, by the end of this, I started kind of understanding how to do roller coasters, and I think the next one's going to be a lot better. You can see here, here's going to be the super fast version of it, and wow, that's a little crazy. I do a lot slower version here in a little bit, but I noticed that was still a little too crazy, so I decided to come down here, and I tried doing the autocomplete thing, but just, man, I should have attacked it from earlier on. Like, I should have started in those cliffs a little quicker, but yeah, whatever. It works. I beat the scenario. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to actually watching the live version of this. So if you guys enjoyed this, definitely drop a like, go ahead and comment, let me know what you guys think, and hit the subscribe button. Since this is a new series, all the support you guys can offer me is tremendous and does wonders for the channel. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this live. Yeah, we started going down the first hill because I was a little slow on it. But you know what's so awesome about this? I can actually record this now. So I can actually show you what this looks like without a bunch of lag, and it looks wonderful. Oh, it's beautiful. That part right there is a little... actually, you know what? That's not terrible. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's a little jerky, but it's not terrible. If there's anything that I'm not a huge fan of, it's the 3 lifts. But at the same point, I think the lifts actually add some excitement to it. Oh, what's actually funny about this is I couldn't actually see the stats. I found a bug in the game where I was unable to actually see the stats of my roller coaster or any of the rides, and I don't know why. I ended up having to close it, and I mentioned this in, I think, the beginning of the next episode. I ended up having to close Windows and restarting everything to get it going. That part's cool. I like going over the water like that. That's pretty cool. And then we go up the third and final lift chain, and... yeah, I'm gonna be honest, in the future I will probably never ever build a 3-lift roller coaster again, but it's fine, it's okay. Everyone loves it, it's one of my more popular rides in the park, so yes. I like that little slow flyover, but with that, we're gonna call this an episode, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.